Hey everyone, this is Zell Marketing, and in this quick video, I'm gonna show you how to implement your Google Analytics tracking to your Shopify web store. I'm gonna be showing two different ways and also a couple ways to double check that your tracking is working properly. So, for the purpose of this video, I'm gonna be assuming that you already have a Google Analytics account set up. If not, then you might want to start with that and then come back to the video later or just follow along. So after entering your Shopify, you go to online store and over there you head to preferences. And there's actually a section for Google Analytics and it asks for you to paste your code from Google here. What this refers to is a code snippet which you can find by going to admin, tracking info, and tracking code. So it asks for this tracking ID and you should just simply copy and then paste it over here and then you save on the top right corner. After doing this, you still have to add another little code snippet which you will find right below. So you again just copy paste it and put it over here and again save. And most of the time, most of the cases, this should work just fine. But if you do want to double check, and I always recommend double checking that everything's working correctly, you should probably head over and download Tag Assistant. It's a very handy little extension from Google. I already have it added and this is how it looks like. It's just this little flag alongside with your other extensions. Once you're on your website, make sure that you enable Tag Assistant, and then after enabling, you also have to refresh the page, and then it will be able to read the codes you have on your website. So when I open this, I've been using it recently, so this is how it should look like when you open it. And what you're looking for is the global site tag, the one that starts with UA, and the one you just very recently installed. So you just make sure that the tracking ID you see over here on your Google Analytics matches the one you see on your Tag Assistant. So that should be fine. But if you do want to still double check that it's working perfectly fine, you might want to head to Google Analytics. Then you go to real time and overview. So the real-time feature in Google Analytics will show you what the users are currently doing on your website. So whenever I go to a different URL, this change, if the tag is installed correctly, it should track exactly which page I'm on and it should pop up here any second now if it's installed correctly. So yes, so I was on this exact same URL. So based on these two things, the Google Tag Assistant and the real-time feature on Google Analytics, we can assume that this has been set up correctly. Now, I have seen in case of some clients that especially if you want to implement several tracking codes through this method on Shopify, especially if you have Google Ads, Analytics, Tag Assistant, and many other things, somehow they don't overlap well and there might be some difficulties tracking. And I remember as soon as I installed my Google Ads tracking code, my analytics stopped working and then vice versa. So I just had to find an alternative way to do this. So I'm gonna show this to you as well, just in case you might have trouble with it as well. So again, you head back to Shopify and make sure to delete this if you tried this first and for some reason it didn't work. So just delete this, it's gonna be completely fine if you lose a couple of minutes of data. And then you go to online store and then in your live theme you go to actions and there's this little part called edit code. Now don't worry, you don't need any major coding skills for this. It might sound intimidating, but trust me, it's not. So you just go to theme liquid on layout and you can see I already have Google Tag Manager installed over here. I'm just gonna quickly make sure that it removed my Google Analytics, and yes, so now you can see that now I disconnected Google Analytics. So let's connect it back again, but through the code this time. So again, we go to admin and then we go to tracking info, tracking code. And then this time you don't need the tracking ID, you just copy paste the whole site tag, and then make sure to edit in the head. I'm gonna put it right below the basic page needs and above Google Tag Manager. So you just simply paste it, and then actually this should be it. So you save it. So this is saved now. You head back to your website and the tag assistant is already on. So once I reload my page, I should be able to see a Google Analytics tracking appear again. And it's right here. Yeah, it's right here. So let's head back again to real time to make sure that it's working properly. So now I was over here. So let me go to another URL. And if that change appears in a few seconds, as it does, then it's again set up correctly. So I just showed you two alternatives for implementing your Google Analytics tracking code to your Shopify, and also two different ways to make sure that it's working well. If you have any other questions, then do let me know. I would be happy to answer any of them. Take care.